Evening. The time is 6:03. We're going to go ahead and get started with this week's meeting. Last week when we concluded, we had adjustments made to several maps, and then we had the introduction of a new map. And we mentioned that this week would be the week that we would go over the maps and finalize our three to be presented tomorrow. Counselor, are there things you want to add before we start deliberating or processing our thoughts? Was there anything you wanted to give us as context?
No, I don't have anything to add at this time. Thank you.
Okay. So, commissioners, is there anything we want to add for the good of the order before we deliberate on the three final maps?
Do we have the copies of the maps?
The printed copies?
Yeah, requested that for this meeting.
I forgot to grab those, but I will have Lucy bring them down.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So prior to deliberating, we'll have those paper copies to look at.
I had a couple questions. I saw the final comments come through.
Yep.
And then those letters.
Yep.
So I wondered what our thoughts were, especially, well, the Northland, I would defer to Dave on the conversation. But then on the Westland, or the West side, I don't know if any of our maps, especially with the variations, hit at what they were trying to get at. So I don't know if anybody had any thoughts about that.
Yeah. I'll start first with what I think is an easy answer, and that is the mention in the public comments about, and correct me if I'm wrong as I summarize it this way. The comments we heard from the West Side, if what I'm hearing is correct, I think that the area commission map would address those issues. And so for me, I took a level of comfort in knowing that one of the maps that we're presenting is indeed a map that has all the area commissions intact. And so I hoped that would help the folks on the West Side that expressed their concern. And then I wanted to ask questions about the architectural districts, the three architectural districts that are also intact. Would that include German Village in its formal structure?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And so that addresses another concern that we had expressed. I think that one was in the letter. But again, with the introduction of the new map C, I think several of the comments we heard this round of public comments have been addressed. But there was another part to your question I didn't answer.
Which I was deferring to Dave on that one, on the Northland side, if those comments might be addressed in any of the maps that we have completed.
I was not surprised to hear from my neighbors in Northland, the folks who live in neighborhoods south of Morse Road, because in several of our maps, we have used Morse Road as a dividing line, basically, between a district we might call Northland and a district we might call North Linden. Technically, Northland goes down to Cook Road. That's sort of been our historical southern boundary. And the neighborhoods that we're hearing from in the comments this week and that were shared specifically from Clinton Estates and perhaps Mays Morse is another that's in that area. They certainly have been active in Northland for many years. In fact, Clinton Estates was one of the founding communities of the Northland Community Council. I'd love to take another pass at it and try to add them back into the Northland districts. The problem, though, is if we add in more population, we need to remove more population. We can't do it in the far north because there's nowhere for it to go. The only place the far north really connects is to Northland and to well, let's see. It depends on which map you're looking at, but maybe sort of the Sawmill Road area and so forth. I think it would be a real challenge to add in the population south of Morse. I'd like to take another look at Commissioner Cabot's map as you said, it may be that we've addressed that indirectly through his work. And as I look at these, the map C that we have here in Chambers does, I think, include Clinton Estates in District D, it was called here.
Oh, is that the one in the center?
Yep. And I was just bringing it up here.
And the pink lines, I think, are the area commissions.
Yeah.
Northland is not an area commission, though. It's a Columbus community. So for that particular one, you will need to turn on the blue
Right.
Columbus communities lines.
So I'd like to take another look at it. I'm going to go ahead and
Yep,
bring it
yep.
over here. And
At which map would you like to look at, Commissioner Paul?
The new map C.
yeah, let's
Okay.
look at the new map C. And the other thing, and I know we've said it before, so it may be redundant, but it's important that folks understand that these districts are not going to affect their participation in the Northland Community Council. It's not going to affect how zoning matters are handled in the Northland area. It's not going to affect their connection to Northland. All this districting process does at the moment is establish districts, residential districts for council members, for the election of council members, and where those council members must live, but it does not affect anything in terms of area commissions or large civic councils and how they operate. So yes, if we could zoom in to the bottom of District 2 there, get my bearings. So yes, in this map,
This is Cook Road right here.
that's Cook, right, and that blue portion just north of there up to Morse Road is actually part of the Northland community and very much identifies as part of the Northland community. And I think that's where we're getting some objections. I don't know if we scroll out, again, if there's an obvious way to try to add that population in and then rebalance the districts, as we've spoken about. The 1% is the challenge here. Sorry?
I did take a look based off of the comments that were received, and in that, what appears to be small blue square is about 5,000 people.
5,000? That does not surprise me.
So Commissioner Paul, is the sense that either District 2 or District 3 would be amenable to add it to, as long as it's part of Northland, or are you saying it needs to go into District 2?
I personally think it should probably be part of District 2. District 3, which again, the city sort of calls that the Rocky Fork community, is very different in terms of development, age of communities, age of housing, to some degree, even the demographics. So I would try, if I thought we could be successful, I would attempt to put that blue portion back into District 2. But I don't know that it's practical.
Yes, I just pulled up each of the remaining maps, and it looks like the only one that accounted for what we're talking about, sort of, is map A. They're in District H, it looks like, on map A. And it looks
Right.
like Northland is kind of split in half rather than in three. But yeah, the other ones don't accommodate it at all.
Yep.
But I mean, again, at least it is on. It looks like we can open it to see. It looks like in one. First of all, Northland can't be together on any. we tried.
Right.
So I don't think Northland can be whole in anything. But in this one, it's 2 rather than 3, and they are still included with members of Northland.
Yeah.
So that's a positive. It's not totally disregarded if we decide not to reallocate things.
Any other comments that we heard that we'd like to process out loud? And I should say that we read in the folks who took the time to fill them out, we read your comments. You know, how many have we read that we'd like to process as a group?
I have them also pulled up on my screen. I just don't have them visible. So if you guys want to talk about the comments as you go through each individual map, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know where you would like to start.
Are we talking just the public comments? I would like to review all of the area commission, I guess, official documentation that we received, but if we want to focus on public comment now.
I would put that in there with the public. Yeah, please, feel free to introduce that. So do you want to start with the south side first?
Sure.
What do you think, Commissioner Saraswela? Do we want to read the whole letter, or did you want to just pick out the pieces that stood out to you?
I just want to highlight the fact that, again, we received an official communication from the Columbus Southside Area Commission stating that they had reviewed the proposed maps from the current round and recommended the approval of map B as it preserved the Southside communities under a single district. They did not like the way that the south side was represented in maps A and C, as it sliced the current area commission. So I just want to kind of confer with this group as we look at the maps.
And prior to the deliberation, I just want to lift up that what we're calling map C today is a different map than what on November 4th in their letter they referenced as map C. The map C that we're looking at today is it, I'm sorry? C is in Charlie, right? Southside letter,
The
right?
Southside letter, but the map that we are considering submitting for tomorrow is map C.
Okay, because the Southside Commission referenced map A and C not meeting their needs?
Right, and then they prefer B, and that's all.
Gotcha, I'm with you. But what they're referencing at C is not the map that we have now that has all of the area commissions intact.
Correct.
Okay,
However, the area commission map that we are now referring to as map C does split the Southside area commission.
right. Much as the situation is in the District 2, where just based on population numbers alone, it would have to have been split. But the thing that was indeed kept intact is the area commissions.
The area commission map that I prepared clearly splits the South Side Area Commission. That's the one that is split the most, and it's probably split 1/3, 2/3.
Got it. Thank you for that asterisk. Forgot about that.
Yep.
If you can look at the screen, that the Southside Area Commission is highlighted in yellow.
Right.
So we're looking at it on map C?
That's correct.
So what three districts, 5, 7, and 9?
No, it's only split with 2 districts.
Two districts, 5 and 9. Okay.
I don't know if anyone feels strongly, I know that they had stated that they, prefer map B. They did recommend some small tweaks, if that's something we want to explore, about adding parts of the Livingston Avenue corridor into what is District I, and then possibly carving out Driving Park, as that has not historically been part of the Southside Area Commission. Again, I'm just bringing that up for consideration, as I don't really have strong opinions either way.
Yeah, I'm looking at the part that they talked about between Parsons and 22nd, and it does kind of feel like an unnatural jog down. And there's one up north, so, oh, we're on a different map. It's about 500 people
On C?
on map B that they're referring to.
But didn't we throw map B out?
I thought the new map B,
It's we made tweaks to map B.
this one.
So let me just ask the question. So their commentary is based off of the map B that existed. Has that commentary been addressed in the new map B?
No.
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
Specifically.
So do you want to look at the updated map B now?
Correct.
Okay.
So just so I understand, this map C that we're looking at now is the one that keeps 20 of 24 commissions
map.
intact? Okay, thank you. And it's not a map that anybody else has seen?
Right, correct.
Outside of this room, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So nobody doesn't like it.
Right. It's one way to look at it.
If you zoom in to where maps, District F and I connect, you see that how the gray dips down and the green pops up? If we just flip those at the Livingston Avenue line, so the green is north of Livingston goes to F, and the gray below Livingston goes to I, it'll balance and it doesn't affect population.
Nice.
Great.
Is that it, what you were talking about for us?
That's exactly where I'm talking about.
Yep.
What else? Yeah, and their suggestion about the driving park move was to balance the district if we needed to, but we don't need to based on the switch.
Got
So
it.
I think we've rectified map B to make the south side whole.
It shouldn't, and never mind, I don't want to, never mind. I don't know, but the Livingston Avenue area, like just the part west of Parsons is in District E, while the rest of it, well, not the rest of it, so never mind, it doesn't matter. And I don't think there's any population there, so it wouldn't really impact it, it's just a funny cut.
Can we look at the Northland area again on this map real quick, just to refresh my memory as to where this map ended up with?
Let's see. Westland.
Okay, yeah.
BNC.
It looks like Northland community is split between District A and District C, with the majority of it in District A.
Yep.
And Commissioner Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, does Northland go all the way out north, like in your, on you guys' official map?
The Northland Community Council considers its northern boundary in this area to be Schrock Road, basically.
Okay.
So we do not go all the way to the county or the city boundary, but I guess actually we do in this area, because north of that is going to be Westerville. I just don't, unless other commissioners are seeing a way to address the concerns of the neighborhood south of Morse and, let's say, west of Carl, without having to rebalance the entire map, I'm not seeing it if you're at map B.
Yeah, nor do I.
Were there any other emails that you wanted to address, Commissioner Saraswaley?
I'd like to bring up the Hilltop Area Commission.
And do you know which map you want to see that on?
Well, I guess we could just, we can start with map A. The Hilltop Area Commission also submitted a official correspondence requesting or stating that the Hilltop should be kept intact and drawn into a district with neighborhoods of similar average area household income. They believe that map A, as currently drawn, best reflects our wishes for a district map, because it keeps the Hilltop mostly together in one district. Map B as the second best option, but they feel that East Franklinton should not be included in that section. And then again, map C, but I'm not sure if we should even kind of go through that, as the map C that we plan to propose for tomorrow is not, is vastly different than the one that is before us. So we didn't really change much to map A, so
We did actually.
with the Hilltop?
We did. We pushed everything outside the Beltway together. Everything outside of 270 on map A. Do you remember last week when we did? Yep.
That's what it currently,
Right. We had to go east just to get numbers up. And so we did go east of 270, But we started with the premise of starting from west of 270, and then we had to get the population numbers up just to meet what was required. And so we pushed east towards Hague Avenue, and we got some of the little ancillary communities in that effort. But we started with the intention of keeping Westland,
I thought we tried that and abandoned it.
That was the tweak that we were possibly pursuing for map B, which we.
Gotcha. I thought that's what I was looking at in District F on map A, because it looks very similar to where we left off with that
Well,
other.
see, F and E on A are both west of 270, so we started down that road and found it implausible.
Got it.
So on the new map C, is the Hilltop in one piece?
Well,
Almost,
Okay.
but there are two small northwest, southwest corners of it that are split out.
and the Westland Commission is saying that they aren't part of Hilltop. So this has the Hilltop intact, but it has Westland as a part of that.
And then on map A, it looks like Westland is not part. Wait, which one is Westland? The northern one or the southern one? Outside of 270? Northern, right?
Northern, yep.
Yeah, okay.
I think in map A, the hilltop is intact.
It looks like it would be mostly, at least.
Everything, well, almost intact, because it doesn't go all the way down to Sullivan Avenue. It stops at Fetter, District F in map A.
In map A, there's like a small piece of, in the eastern corner that is part, which you can see on the screen right now, that goes into another district. But other than that, Hilltop is in one, it's all in the same district.
And it's intact and it doesn't.
Your map A is different than the map A we have on paper.
No,
Oh, is it?
No,
Shouldn't be.
it shouldn't be.
nope.
Well, because then the southern portion of District F, the southeastern portion
This
of
right here?
District F is Hilltop.
No, it's not. No, it's not. The hilltop boundary is that curved line there.
Where?
What's it? That's West Scioto, I think.
That's
Yep,
not true.
yep.
The border of Hilltop is,
According to the Columbus communities, that's where they put the border of it. But you know that sometimes the way that it's done on here and what people consider their community can be
Right.
different. So based on the Columbus communities map, under this map, the Hilltop border is there.
Yeah.
Greater Hilltop Area Commission border is the railroad tracks.
Well, this is the Columbus communities.
Okay.
So if you want to see the area commission one,
It's
I
the
can
same.
Still, it's the same.
I think it's the same, yeah. I would say, I believe
It's the
so.
railroad tracks 270, right?
Well, it's
Yeah,
showing.
because there's the Greater Hilltop Area Commission in there. It's the same.
Okay.
So I guess what I'm saying is, we did not make any changes to that portion of map A. So they will be happy with the map A that we put out tomorrow.
Who, Westland?
Yeah. No, Hilltop.
The Hilltop.
And it looks like from what I'm looking at, I'm trying to identify it. Oh yeah, no, Westland is the southern one. So it is connected there in that map. But no matter, unfortunately, well, map C does account for that, where Hilltop is in a different district than Westland in the far west. But because, District 6 is the Westland and far west, and District 7 is the Hilltop
In Franklinton.
in Franklinton.
Yep.
And then the thing is with the other maps and generally just with geography is that contiguity kind of forced our hand. So there aren't too many variations where you couldn't put them together. Or split up Westland in a funny way or split up the Hilltop in a funnier way. So.
And I guess we're just preemptively knowing that the map C that we put out tomorrow does, for the most part, keep the Hilltop intact. It does lump them in with Franklinton and downtown, which I feel like there will be objections to.
I mean, my hope, and I think we did a pretty good job with this, is that all the very involved in active area commissions and communities could have a map to get around and lobby for. There's a million people, so it'd be hard to make everybody happy. But yeah. Yeah. Let's do this thing.
There was the one where they gave us some bulleted feedback. I don't think that's the one you read, Commissioner Saraswela, is it? From the Hilltop or from the Westland area or,
No,
hold on.
that one.
So there's the one that says that map A keeps the Westland area fully intact, but it pairs them with Hilltop. They didn't like that. Map B and C both divide the Westland area. And then they made sure we knew that they mean the area located outside of 270 into two separate districts. And so they spoke to the fact that map A, they were intact, but they were paired with Hilltop, which they didn't like. And then they said that map B and C divides the Westland area.
And they said that means their voices wouldn't be heard.
They believe that to mean that their voices wouldn't be heard, which is not the case, but it is their concern. And so what they're asking for is Westland and then the far west area to be together.
In Commissioner Cabot's map, Westland, Far West, and West Iota are all together.
Right.
Okay.
Again, yes, I do think that their concerns will be addressed in,
With the new map C?
correct.
Perfect. So that being said, we have reviewed all of the written public comments we've gotten. We're grateful for folks being this engaged and sharing their input. It's directed us. And then we had a list of public comments for each map A, B, and C that I'll allow us all to individually disaggregate and raise up any of those if they see fit. And a theme that we've mentioned previously that I see again in public comments is there are strong opinions that are grateful and appreciate the work in the districts, and then there's a few scattered, wishes for things that may not be possible with some of the requirements we had in keeping with the charter amendment or the charter language. So if there's no other comments that you all want to lift up at this time, I think we're in a good position to finalize the three maps that we intend to present and then make public for 30 days of review, starting on November 10th. Tomorrow. We've come a long way. So this being said, we have in front of us three maps that we are today, I think we're united in our understanding that one is a map A, one is a map B, one is a map C. These maps have evolved with the public comment we've received, but at this time, we can go ahead and stamp our approval on what we're going to call map A, B, and C to be presented. If no one has any other additions to make prior to finalizing these maps and putting them up for approval.
Chair Moore, I also want to be clear that this is just you all agreeing that these are the maps that you guys are going to sit as your final maps, but you will still have to do an official vote to put the maps over to council in December, and this is not like that vote. So there will be a vote that will happen on December 13th that you will do, but this is just like you confirming these are the final three maps, and they will go out for 30 days. There'll be a public hearing, and then when it is time to submit the maps to council, these are the three maps that you'll submit to council.
Thank you, Counselor, for splitting that here. It's a very important distinction. These three maps, A, B, and C, we will approve today for public review for the next 30 days.
Again, just to clarify, the map C that we have in front of us, for example, is not necessarily the map C that we're proposing to move
Right.
forward.
So
Well,
we-
none
we-
of the maps that you have in front of you are the exact maps that are being
Right,
presented.
okay. It's confusing.
Right.
I
Just-
was,
oh,
I'm
go
sorry, I was gonna ask if maybe they're named something different. I mean, I know that, well, because A is the only one that's, and sort of B, but C is not what C that they've seen before.
C is a new map. That will be clear in the communication that goes out tomorrow when you guys do your release. A and B, it's clear also in the talking points, which you all will receive hopefully tonight, if not tonight, early tomorrow morning, because we just want to make sure things are finalized. You will receive those, and it will say that these are updated maps A, updated map B, and an entirely new map C, just to make sure that people are aware.
I love it, love it. We're not asleep at the wheel.
Or the switch.
So in front of us, we have on 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper, 3 maps. We're calling them A, B, and C. If none of the commissioners have comment or objection, I'm going to move that we introduce these maps to be printed large scale and then shared broadly for public review for the next 30 days. With that being said, is there anyone who's not in favor of moving forward with these 3 maps or wanting to move forward only after they share a comment? I've heard no objections.
No objections.
All right. So all in favor of moving forward with these 3 maps, please share an aye.
Aye.
That being unanimous, we have approved 3 maps, A, B, and C, to move forward for 30 days of public review. These maps will be shared broadly with the city tomorrow. And I want to thank you all for your commitment to making this possible.
Now, let me just make sure that we're all clear. Does this mean that we can make no further changes to these 3 maps between now and December?
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
And our schedule of meetings going forward is?
I will share that information once we
Okay.
So, Counselor Walter, with that being said, we voted, we have the maps. Our work for the evening, as far as I see it, is done. And with that being the case, can I call this meeting adjourned?
Yes, you may.
All right, I am calling this meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.